start. Okay, alright. Alright, begin. Alright, well, welcome back. Yeah, I finally finished that page, so now I'm on a different one. Oh my goodness, I have legible handwriting in this one. That's not supposed to be there. Okay, actually, I do need that. Hold on. Okay, it's this person. Alright, this is still the person I still do not have a character page for. I wanted to make it yesterday, and then, like, it started raining, and I didn't have the, what's it called? Motivation. So, need to increase the opacity on this stuff. So, yeah. Okay. Alright, well, this is just gonna be standard, right? Just like, yeah, that's not supposed to be on this layer. Yeah, give or take. Alright. Perfect. And then, yeah, I'll just, like, again, sketches are messy. Yeah. You know, I actually found out this little trick, right? If I was to set the color of this to, like, say, like red or something, right? Then I can feel a lot better about just redrawing this entire thing better afterwards. So, okay, this is actually a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. So yeah, because what I'm doing right now is I'm not doing it correctly. I'm just basically drawing... I'm not basically drawing any sketch at all, which is a problem. So yeah, I'll try to be a little bit better on that now. So yeah, once again, that, and then give or take half the head. There we are. Okay, alright. Eye time. Okay. Two. What did I have the eye shape as here? Okay. So, yeah, that needs to be a little bit smoother here. Okay. Alright, that's too small, so I'm just gonna scale it up a little. Yes. Yeah. Alright, I'm just trying out this method just to see if it works, and this eye is still too small. So, yeah. Because I want to see if I can at all make this stuff a little bit more streamlined and a little bit more the way I want it to work. So okay, you know what? So I'm bad at working on scales like that, so I work on scales like this. That's too wide. No. This red color is throwing me off a lot more than I thought it would. But I just still want to see this through. It's going to be an annoying thing to just like draw over in a bit, but whatever. I need to raise this up, so that doesn't look good. Okay, I feel like I'm being too low effort in this. Oh, and it is still too wide. Tall. And wide again. Oh, sorry, narrow. Okay, why do I not like it? It looks messier, for one. Like, significantly messier. Oh, okay, yeah, and so this is also a little bit too short, so need to make this bit. Oh boy, wrong one. Okay. Here, and like that. That's not thick enough. And give or take. The only issue is that none of this is symmetrical in the way that I would like it to be. Yeah, sure. So yeah, once again, my center lines are not at all center, so yeah. Wait, isn't this why warm-ups exist? It's like the third time that I mentioned wanting to do a warm-up and I never do. Again, mostly because I just don't even know what I'd do for one, like. Because normally it's just purely, like I said, there's something super boring that I can't record, which, like, I can do, but I don't want to, because why would I? Merge with my below. Alright, yeah, give or take, whatever. Okay, and now what I do is I am in the will, like, is it just this person looking forward? Does that give off the vibe that I want for this scene? So here, 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 here. Is that what I want? Okay, let me take these lines off. These ones. Does this look fine or does it not? Whilst I think on that, I'm gonna actually put all these sketch layers into one folder just to make sure that I don't mix this up with anything else. So yeah. Okay, let me add a couple more details in just to see. I don't really know what emotion I want. Like, is there any? I mean, it's just like kind of neutral speaking, no? For this one, it should be. Given that humans exhibit emotion in places that we don't even expect us to. I'll just do that, and we'll just do that, and then you know what? I'll just leave it there. that's too much of an angle, so I just need to smooth it down like that. And then I need to make this bit here a little bit more. That fine. That's not fine. So here, that fine. I might want to raise this eyebrow a little bit. So here, perfect. Gone. All right. Doesn't actually look as bad as I thought it would. Like the sketch, like the red sketch. Like I feel like I can actually work with it. It's not a good habit to have. I need to make sure that I'm on the right layer for the right things. Okay. So, all right. Nose and mouth wise. Okay, so again, this person is speaking at this point, so I'll just make like a very basic nose. I'm not gonna be very fancy about it. No. Yeah. Fine. It'll have to do. Okay. Let me try and like figure out how this so basically when speaking I feel like I should probably add in like the mouth movements for something like the word all right, for example, right? All. Okay, so it's just a basic open mouth. So like that and then like that. Hold up. Okay, so teeth do show ever so slightly. Which means I will need this to make me a little bit bigger. That's not what I was necessarily going for. That is not what I was necessarily going for either. That makes this person look happy, which might not be the worst thing, but it's bad for branding. What if I do something along these lines and like that, do. And like that, and that does not look good at all. No. See, that doesn't feel like it lines up. So if I made this a little bit narrower. Here we go. The issue with the hard eraser as opposed to the vector that I sometimes use is the fact that the actual borders of it aren't defined by the circle that I see. It's defined by how hard I press down, which can be useful in some cases, but it is a little bit annoying in others. The only reason why I use it is because I want this like fade effect, which you don't get with vector. But wait, isn't this a sketch? I don't need fade effects on this one. Hold up. Yeah, you know what? Something along this line might actually work. So like if I like fill this in, right, entirely, and I fill this in entirely, that might work. That might not be the worst idea, actually. Yeah. If I just like edit the teeth just a tiny, wow, okay, that's passive. Just a tiny bit. Yeah, so like as you can see, like this fade effect goes away, and it's just purely it's like a hard border, which isn't that big of a deal for like smaller racings like this, because like once I zoom out, you can't even see it, right? But still, what if someone like actively scrutinizes my work? Okay, yeah, so something along these lines might be the worst idea to actually add in those details on the teeth. So like here, there's some artists that I really like that do this occasionally, and I do like the effect that it creates in black and white specifically. I don't know about red in the same way, but yeah, I feel like red might give off a slightly different impression when it comes to this stuff. But yeah, you know what? I think that's enough. If I don't like it, I'll delete it later. Okay, so there's that part done. I need to make sure that. Okay, let me just once again try and group this stuff up. So I want to make sure that all of my eye stuff is in the same place. And I'll add this into it. Do I consider eyebrows to be part of the eye? I'll not. I'll just not have that in there. And then I need to make sure to remember add a little bit bigger. Here, 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 here. A little bit smaller. A little bit more directional. Well, not directional. Well, a little bit better in terms of placement. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, that works. Okay. I just realized that's a card. What's it called? Card type? Is that what they call it? What's it called? Okay, I'm gonna go with card type. It's like this type. Now that it's in red, I can actually see it. But yeah, that's not particularly relevant, and I'll just actually, since I'm here, I'll just fill this, just that I don't forget the fact that that's filled. Ooh, and actually, another thing I'll try to do is I'll try to make myself remember that this has a lighter fill, like that. And then I know that the gradient exists in the eyes. I'm not gonna forget that, probably. All right. Next is hair and shoulders. So I'm just gonna size this up in general. Another thing I actually want to do right before I go into hair and shoulders, I want to make this cleaner. So I want to just make one line. It's not going to look the best because again, I'm going to lose all the dynamic look from all these sporadic lines because it's not going to be as thick. It's just going to be a singular line, right? But because this is just a sketch, I don't want to be having all these sporadic lines. It's going to get in the way of my actual idea. Oh my goodness, this looks so much worse than I thought it would. But yeah, again, this is going to go away in a bit. I must save that for my own. Let's see. Whoops. Whoops. Okay. Did I follow the correct line trajectory there for this? Yeah, give or take. So actually, I want to round this out a little bit. All right. I want to clean this bit up a little bit. All right, yeah, okay. And then so, yeah, and then all the fancy details come later. So, all right. Now that I have this, it's time for the hair, which goes, can create, once again, a new folder for it. So once again, hairline-ish, hairline goes here-ish, give or take. Here and that here. Ooh, ears. I forgot ears. I always forget them. So I'm just gonna go here, that, and then here, like that, like that. That's too small. That's too tall for its width. Too skinny is what that is. That's the word. It's too skinny, yeah. Yeah, more or less. Whatever. I'm not gonna get any better than that. Alright, that's the hairline. So from here, I just wait, once again, I want to have singular lines for all of this. Once again, because all the dynamics and the fun looking lines come in later. Also because I don't want them to overshadow my sketch, because it genuinely could. And it's gonna make me lose self-confidence. So, all right. Yeah, okay. Okay, so now I can get rid of this. And now I need to add in this bit. So once again, this hair should be messy, and I have it give or take here. I think this might, now this is a little bit of a downward view, so, or seeing the top of the head a little bit more here, so I think this might be a little bit more actionable. Here, that. Here, and I'm going to stop there because I need to add in the shoulders to make that properly. Once again, I stop here. Okay, so yeah, I stop here, and then yeah. Okay, alright, so that's the hair bit done. Alright, now then, neck and shoulders. There it is. Delete, I don't need that folder in retrospect. And I can go here. Okay, so. Should I make this again shoulders? I mean, I guess same as I did in the other two. I don't have a lot of very dynamic poses in these, do I? Thing is, I genuinely started studying more and more poses, but because this chapter is the first, there's a lot of exposition dialogue. So I can't use any of it. Like basically it's just face, oh, like head. Um, for, sorry, oh boy, I can zoom in on this. I never knew that. Okay, basically it's non-stop head. There's some non-head. It's in this panel, right? And then all this once again head, right? But you might be thinking, oh, you could do more dynamic, but it wouldn't make sense for like dialogue at all. Again, head, although this does look a lot better in my opinion. And there's some hands here, which I don't know if I'm proud of. I haven't seen them in a while. But yeah, again, head. And then this, page 8, was the last time I ever drew like full, no, not full, but there's a full body picture right here. It's not particularly visible, but you know, like there's a lot more like action going on over here than down here. Okay. Well, again, this isn't like the point of all this is just because it's my first ever comic that I'm like making that much. And so I don't want to be all that like incredible with my all that fancy with my movements and like all my drawings and all that, because like that's gonna take a ton of time. Even just drawing heads like this, drawing in them like in different positions and all that with different emotions, that's already taking me quite a bit. So and I remember this panel took me so long to make because, so for context, right, this person right here, right, yeah, you might be thinking there's a lot of probably mistakes. I mean, I can't see them right now. Okay, there's like one here, but there's probably a lot that I'm like not really trying to look for at the moment, right? But like, oh, this doesn't look like it took that long. But the thing is that which layers? Wait, which panel is that? Sorry, I need to remember. There it is. Okay, so the thing about this, right? Let me just. Okay, so. Okay, I need to show the underlying layers of all this. Yeah, so forgot I drew out all of this just to get a full body picture. And I don't actually have to do, and this wasn't actually a mistake here, I actually corrected it later. Again, I don't have to do this necessarily, but like I suck otherwise, so because I'm not actually all that experienced. I have like 4-ish years or something. Like I don't have the experience to like just draw someone like that. So I just need that anatomy help. But yeah, okay, so before I do anything, right, I'm actually going to size everything up to the scale that I want it to, because I don't want to draw more shoulder than necessary. So, yeah, is that good? That's passable. Okay, that's fine. Alright. So again, it takes me 30 minutes to draw a head, and I don't like that because I feel like I could do this faster. Like, I don't understand what takes me so long. Is it my... Oh, it could be my indecision, that's what it is. Because, like, I don't actually think about, like, what expression I want. I just, like, know the general vibe, and then I just try to figure it out along the way. It's probably not the best of ideas. Also, before I do anything, I want this gone. Oh, I did erase something. Okay, I just didn't see it. Do. And then I go in with a smaller brush, and I just do. Incredible. Alright, and now for the ears, I just do the same thing. here and here. Okay. Okay. So, yeah. Yeah, actually, but I think I'm showing a little bit more shoulder than I did on this panel here, because this panel has the shoulders like right here. But at the same time, this neck is also a little bit longer than I thought it'd be for some reason. Oh, I'm on the eraser tool. Eraser tool, that's fine. Oh wait, hold on. This head shape. Oh no, it's about the same. Okay, never mind. It's fine. It's fine. I was really concerned there for a second, but yeah. Is it just me or this head leaning a little bit? Like, hold on. Because I might be in a little bit of a predicament. Because, like, yeah, I feel like it's, like, leaning this way a little bit. Whilst this face is, like, almost entirely straight up and down. So I think this face might be a little bit misaligned with the rest of the head. Let me see if I can fix that. So, in order to fix that, what I would do is I would take this folder, alright, I put this in here, and then I put all of the other headline, like, lines for the head, in there. No, see, that stays out. So, wait, here. So, you know, that goes in there. That goes in there. And that goes in there. So now it's, yeah, okay. And I just want to see, right? No. Just want to see if I was to like rotate this. Oh boy, it's lagging. All right. Rotate this slightly and slightly shift it. Is that going to make things better? Because I feel like I might have made a tiny mistake there. So yeah, aside from the neck, which is obviously a little bit slanted because it wasn't meant to be in this position, I don't think that this is the worst look. I think this might be a little bit better, yeah. Yeah. What I don't like is this is a little bit asymmetrical with this, so I'm gonna probably change that. But other than that, I think it's fine. And then the neck also needs to change. So here's the hair. That's the back of the hair. That's the front of the hair. Okay. So this here, right, needs to have a little bit more confident of a slant like that. It needs to be a little bit more self-esteem. No, it needs to be a little bit more here and like that. So, yeah, sure. That line's a little thin, but again, none of that matters because this is a sketch. Oh, wait, no, it's also shorter. I didn't notice that. Hold on. wait. Oh, and this also slants out like that a little. I'm going to make this a little bit thicker. This also slants out like that a little bit. And then goes here. And goes almost straight up. Oh, wait, is my dimension issue in this direction? Could be. So I think that's a little bit more symmetrical, yeah. So yeah, this is also a little bit too high. So this slope here, little bit too elevated, so I might want to redo that. Yeah, give or take here. And this is just for clarity's sake, because I feel like this really thin line is interfering with stuff. Well, just purely in my mind. So, okay, now we need to correct this bit. And then I'm too lazy to search for the ears, so I'm just going to correct them like this. And yeah, that annoys me. Yeah, I'll make this more dynamic in a bit. I might actually want to raise this ear up because I did like shift everything, and so now the ears are in different positions. So what actually looks better? Yeah, actually, I think I want to shift this down. So here, and then shift it down. I think it's a little bit better. Okay. All right. So got that bit. Let me get the back of the hair. Just really quickly. That's multiple layers. My bad. Here. Okay, yeah, all right. So yeah, now I need to figure out the neck. Okay. There it is. Stay right around there. I know I said I need to do stuff in one line, but I just genuinely don't want to mess this curve up because this curve actually means something. So is that fine? Yeah, it should be fine. Okay, so once again, time to map out my collarbones. Nope, too steep. Here. Here. Once again, too steep. Okay. Now that I have these mapped out, I can map out these muscles here. I feel like this is a little bit too square. Just to round it off just a little bit. I think that looks better. Yeah. All right, now back to the next shoulders. So what was I doing again? Okay, so now what I need to consider is the deltoids. Let me think about them. So here, that bone's there. So that. There's that padding there, and then this bit of the deltoid starts here, and then this bit of the deltoid starts here, so oh wait, no, this bit of the deltoid starts, okay, so basically deltoid starts like, so if we go here, right, and we go here, and then that, right, deltoid starts like that. Nope, too small. So yeah, shoulder in general, right, like the width of that is like almost half your head. So like that, and then maybe that's from here to here. From here to here, it's actually not that much. That's a fourth of your head, so it should be a fourth of the head. Okay, yeah, so yeah, this bit like that-ish, right? And then deltoid also goes kind of like that. Yeah, so I just need to replicate. So yeah, fourth of the head. So yeah, once again, there's this bit here, and then two-eyed. Passable, but the side in general is too long, so that's a problem. Oh boy, okay. So what I can do, right? I can take this and I can do that. I don't remember if the neck is part of this layer. And I can try and free transform it and just make it just a little bit. Wait, what? Oh, oh, that doesn't do what I thought it would. Oh, that's annoying. Wait, what? Wait, what? I'm so stupid. Oh, I did it on the wrong. My nose looks layers. Oh, I'm so dumb. Oh, why would I do that? Okay, that's all right. Well, you know what? Maybe it's a blessing in disguise. How do I? Where's the actual? There it is. Oh, it actually isn't the neck. So the neck is actually separate. All right. Oh, nice. I can do that. Wow, I didn't even know that. Use like maybe that much. And I go up to this layer, and then I do this, right, like, no, that's like that, and then I just move it. It's like this millimeter of a difference might seem like a weird thing to fuss about. This doesn't curve in like that, but it's a lot more noticeable once you look at it, once you've been looking at it for 45 minutes now. I notice mistakes a lot more, and I'm going to forget about them the second I stop working on this, and no one's ever going to know about them. But they're going to bother me until the end of this session, so... yeah. Let's see. This shoulder might be slightly off. I think it's slightly less than this, but okay. No, you know what? No buts. I have to. This. That. Now that I think about it, this is actually exactly why it takes me 45 minutes to do this. I have zero confidence, so I keep redoing things. I know I'm gonna like look back in the recording and be like, oh, that was actually not that bad. I should not have like spent like 15 minutes trying to do that better. Yeah, you know what? Okay, I'm just gonna believe myself and just not touch it. I'm gonna take this off because I feel like these details make me see differences that don't actually exist. So yeah, okay. And I can take these collarbones off because once again they're getting covered. Everything's getting covered by the shirt, so okay, gotta draw that in. Okay, so the way the shirt looks, like that, and then okay, I don't want to edit any of this, so I'm actually gonna go on this layer just to make sure I don't touch anything. Okay, so that's a very basic shirt. I have zero creativity when it comes to fashion, so yeah, and I think this neck needs to be made a little bit shorter, like just a tiny bit, like that much. And then I also did a correction on a layer that I shouldn't have. It's whatever at this point. I don't care enough. Nope, that neck's too short. Okay, why is that neck too short? What's the problem? I think it might just be too wide. Because like I didn't make it that wide in any of these. Maybe? Is that the problem? No, it's not. Okay, so neck can be short here because it's like the person's looking down. The neck here, oh, it's only long here because the person is leaning. So basically if I split this difference, it should be like here-ish. No, that's still too short. Because this distance is about the same as this distance, which means that like, which is not how that would work because this distance should compress, this distance should elongate. So okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to undo these two things, and I'm going to oh, okay, so I'm gonna take okay, so this is actually the issue with it being multiple layers, is that now I can't just move that one layer down. What I have to do now is I have to carefully maneuver around the neck. Do that. And then I need to move all of this down. Like that much. And then I need to do these corrections. Okay. There it is. Okay. You do these corrections and these corrections, and then I need to go here, and then I need to go here. Okay. All right. Now I can do the shirt. So. Okay. Yeah. The shirt should still be here. So I can put this away. Okay. So. Okay. Sort of. This is not entirely correct because it's slanted when it's not supposed to be, but I will ignore the problem because that is what I'm probably the most talented in doing. And yeah, I'll just let it fester and grow until I actually finally decide to fix it. So, here, do 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 like that. Okay, and now I need to remember where I put those shoulders on this thing. No. Got my face in? Really? That's how I did it? Ugh, that's a horrible way to do it. Okay, alright, well, I guess consistency is a thing. Fine. I don't like this shirt design. But I also don't want to redraw like 50 panels of it, so... Oh, there it is. Okay, so it's in here. That needs to stay. And then... yeah. Because I did a correction for the neck on this layer, I also don't want to fully erase it, so... Oh, wait, no, what have I done? That's not supposed to go. I need to go here, and to here, but not touch the actual bit that's showing. And then I need to go to this layer, and then take these out. Ooh, that looks way too narrow, so I need to actually expand these shoulders a little, I think. I'm pretty sure, I'm like 90% sure, is that? I think that might be a little bit too little. So obviously none of this looks really nice because again, it's a sketch. I'm gonna make all the cool dynamic looking stuff like this more in the actual thing. Okay. Ooh, also this is significantly lower than this, which is a problem. I don't like how that looks, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get back on this layer. I'm gonna make that a little bit bigger than that. And then Okay, so that solves one of my two issues. Now then, how am I going to make this longer? I could select this bit here, and then, because I think this is now the slightly shorter end. And then now I just ever so slightly, just a little bit. I think that looks a little bit better. Yeah. Okay, nice. All right. Okay, now that all that is done, time to make a new folder and time to actually draw this. I spent 54 minutes on a sketch. Maybe this method isn't as ideal as I thought it would be. I think this is... Alright, that's good. So, first things first, I like doing eyes. Like my first serious drawing was actually an eye, because like I was bored in a class at one point. Because I like finished my work or whatever, and then so I decided to what's its name? I decided to just like as a joke, just search up how to draw an anime eye. And then that was the first ever like actual picture that I made. Because like before that, I drew like stick figures. and I wouldn't necessarily call it like a masterpiece. Anything that I actually drew at that point. So, does that look okay, or does that look a little bit too, I should say, rigid? Not particularly like. So yeah, because like the style of eyes that I kind of like actually, so I'm actually gonna not do that way, because the thing is, the style of eyes that I actually like is like when it's more done like this. Like, yes, this looks messier, but it also looks nicer in general because it gives a little bit more character to the drawing, in my humble opinion. But that only really works as long as I like stay within these lines. So now I just want to see how that looks. Yeah, pupils, they have way more rigid of a structure because they're not made of hair is the thing, right? So, there's an interesting image of a hairy pupil. Must be torture to have. Is it actually possible? Like a medical condition for it or something? So there's like, for example, a medical condition we have like two pupils or something. So like polychloria, I think. Like I think it's like, and I basically feel like another pupil here or something. Yeah. Pretty sure people like lose their vision because of it. It sucks. I want to see if I like if me feeling this in like a caveman, like does that help give this drawing like a better look at all? So like if I intentionally leave gaps like that, right, and I intentionally don't close them, does that? Maybe like check it in a bit. Once I've kind of, cause I don't hate the look right now, because but like in a bit when I forget that I did that, I'm gonna like look back and be like, oh, that looks horrible or something. So yeah, let me just try this again and see if I like the way that looks. Right. Yeah, you know, now that I think about it, consistency really isn't my biggest issue here. Like, thing is, if I had already like had like a very developed art style that like people genuinely enjoyed and stuff, right, and that I enjoyed, then it wouldn't matter if I like consistent in my style across all these pages. But like, thing is that as long as you can tell that the same character is the same character, it doesn't actually matter for me at this point because, well, frankly speaking, nobody knows how I draw, so, and I am just experimenting with a lot of this, and this is like my first ever real, like, serious project like this, so should be fine if I, like, I'm probably gonna drop this series after a bit, purely because, like, this is, everything about this is designed not to, like, fulfill my, like, not to like make me draw the things that I want to draw. It's more designed for me to just have as easy of a time making, like in the actual process of making this. Because like, for example, fun fact, a lot of these backgrounds, right, they look really nice, right, but they're the 3D generated from the same exact room, right. Basically, I just generated an entire. I spent like 2 hours just like putting in a bunch of stuff into like one room, and so all of this is just like the same 3D image, just like with screenshots from different parts of it. So that's why I didn't do the backgrounds on these just yet, because I don't want to like I have to like open app, and I have to like open up my entire like save file for that. So yeah, and once again, that is like, I don't know if I'll ever like do that again, like at the very least not like to this extent, because I feel like I should at least like, you know, detail, like a 3D model is a good starting point, right? Like it's it can help you understand like what general position everything should have, but like there's limits to how detailed it can be. So yeah, the only reason why I'm using that right now is purely because I don't want to particularly, like, I'm not that good at backgrounds, and I don't want to, like, you know, do that as well on top of all this. So yeah, hopefully I just want to see how this kind of stuff, because I do love the way it looks on in a lot of ways. Again, but there's like differences between like what can and can't be messy, right? Because like these types of messy lines, they look okay in places like this with like thin sporadic hair, because like that's kind of like how your eyes and your eyebrows are, right? But they don't really look nearly as good at, for example, like longer hair like this, because longer hair, right, it doesn't like do that. It, after a certain point, its weight forces it to like be more smooth, right? But at this small stage, it's going to be like all over the place because it's like a bunch of small hairs essentially. Not exactly how eyebrows look, but like you get the point, right? So like I can get away with this messiness here. I can't get away with that same messiness here. Yeah, that's very important. And like the nose, right? That's skin, so that's not going to look nearly as messy. That has a certain rule to it, if you will. There's like certain ways that a nose can and cannot look. Same thing with the mouth. Again, a lot of this, like, none of this is like small hairs. All this is very like concrete structures that don't really have that much room to like change in themselves at all. Yeah, well, there should be like a little bit of a wavy line here, right? Because teeth are not exactly like straight. They're not exactly like perfect. Actually, you know what I think? I think I need to make a smaller size pen for this, because I feel like too much of a pen size. Like I feel like a little bit more precision is needed inside of here. So yeah, but on this, on the other hand, this in general is a lot thicker. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna like go a little bit more. So yeah, here we are. Okay, and now I need to just... Wait, don't I actually usually do that in mechanical pencil? Right. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna try and see how this looks without mechanical. So like, really quickly, I just want to see, does that bit look better specifically? Yeah, see, this actually doesn't look too bad. Yeah. This, right, if I leave small gaps in this, I feel like that can give us a similar texture to the mechanical pencil. What I want to do with the... I feel like that's a little bit too... Because, like, that's not supposed to be that square. I think I made this too wide, but I don't want to change it anymore because I am too lazy. So, yeah, and I also need to remember to add this bit in. And also make it properly dynamic, so I want to make like that, right? And And then I want to take in the mechanical pencil tool, and then I want to get that, because tongues do have a very like rough and bumpy texture to them, right? So I want to emulate that here with all of the like white gaps that are going to be in the mechanical pencil. But yeah, this tongue is way too wide in general. And I think that's a big problem. But yeah. Okay, so here we are. Yeah. All right, so this bit, the face is done. Okay. Okay, so here, right, first thing I'll do is I'll just draw this as a basic outline for this part of the head, right? And then I'll add in all the dynamic bits to it. So yeah, this is a little bit too shaky on the sketch, and I don't want to emulate that. Alright, so now I take the sketch off, and now I try and make this thicker in a way that does not make this look unnatural in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, now I need to just turn off these little bit tails here. No, I forgot. Yeah. So yeah, now I do have to use this eraser. So now I do value the gradient. There's like this slope here. Oh, okay. That's annoying. Okay. Here. Yeah, okay, actually, you know what? The thing I like about this, right, as opposed to this, so actually I think this should be erased from this side here. Alright. And until like, until this point. So I'll explain why in a second, like why I kind of like that effect. Right. So here, right, the reason as to why I like this effect, because basically, right, your mouth opens up here, right, and then basically your lower jaw is this bit. Sorry. So here's your chin, and this is like your lower jaw here, this bit right here. So this opening up should create sort of like shadow-ish effect on here. I just think that looks a little bit nicer. It does look asymmetrical though, which is a problem. And just in general, these two sides of the face are a little bit asymmetrical. How does that look in this? Why is that the case? Let me see. That is the case because let's see. Why is that the case? That is the case. Because my hair is swaying to this side now a little bit. I see, that's a problem. Okay, well, not much I can do about it now, so I'll live with it. It's not that big of a deal because I'm gonna, once I add in the hair and then everything else, it's not gonna be all that noticeable. Okay. Okay. How do I go about it? Okay, what's next? So, oh, I didn't add the back of the hair for the sketching. I'll improvise it, it's fine. Okay, so yeah, the hair is a little bit too complicated, so I don't want to do that right now. I want to try doing the neck first. So yeah, I do like the way I already made the neck in the sketch. I don't want to change a thing about it, so here, yeah, once again, Skin needs to have as smooth a texture as possible because that's just a lot more how skin is in comparison to hair. Like you might be thinking, oh, we got like rough skin, but like that's not even close to hair in terms of texture. So that's not really what I'm going for. Okay. Alright, now this needs to be made a lot thicker because it's in a very shadowy area. So is this. Okay, now the shirt. Alright. Something like that. And then I'm just gonna color this bit in here. And I'm just gonna color this bit in here. So, just gonna erase this bit like that, and then reinforce that a little bit. Make this a little bit thicker. Make this a little. Oh, would you look at that? Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, that's done. All right. Now then. Okay, 2 more things I gotta do, right? Thing number 1 is I gotta do the ears, and I gotta detail them, and then I gotta do. Thing number 2 is I gotta do the hair, and yeah. Okay, it's gonna be the big problem, isn't it? Alright. Okay, that works. Okay, alright. Now then. Okay, I forgot what an ear looks like. Let me research that really quickly. Sure. And then here. Okay, alright. Okay, so time for the hair now. Alright, I'm gonna have to be creative on this bit, so I'll do that in a second. I find like kind of annoying a little bit. There's no like no easy way for me to like scroll from one side to another, right? So if you notice me like going like zooming out and then zooming back in, right? Because that's like the only efficient way to move in this program. So, um, uh, is there actually like in Cedar Clip? Is there like a way to like automate like doing this? Because I can't really do that in the middle of a it's not a particularly convenient thing to do in the middle of a drawing, but like this is ever so slightly more convenient, but it's still not exactly the best of things. Now obviously the best thing for me to do would be just not to draw this zoomed in, because like honestly I don't think I need to be this zoomed in for half of this. It's just that because I have the option, I just feel like I should. I'm just gonna, again, not particularly worried about the hair. That's not natural for her. Okay. Oh, I didn't need to do that. Okay. Yeah, something along these lines. Okay. Nice. All right. Okay, now we need to fill the hair, detail the eyes, and shade. Okay, so all right, I'm gonna try that flowy method that I tried last video again. I doubt it's gonna work, but I think I have some new resources. No, I do not. By resources, I do mean I'm just referencing other artists' works, and I can't find it anymore. I feel like in the spirit of like, please don't sue me or something. I don't know, can you sue for something like? Yeah. The guy I'm currently referencing is what's his name? It's a Japanese manga artist. He's the author of oh boy, how do you write that? Wait, let me. Ish, da, 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 da. Tsugumo, I think that's how it's pronounced. Just draws really well. So I have some reference books from the guy. I think his name is Yoshikaru Hamada. I don't exactly remember. I watch his streams a lot, so yeah. But he has like a very specific like way to like make hair flow, and I don't know how he does that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna not try it out anymore. I'm just gonna quit, and I'm just gonna try this. And it didn't work because I'm on the wrong layer. That's why. Still didn't work because I have a hole somewhere. Okay, I have a hole right here. And right here. Oh, I actually don't. No, I look at it. Ooh, wait, you know what I actually should do though? I should avoid this because then it'll get in the way of my beautiful little details. Yeah, that doesn't work. Okay, so, alright, I'm just gonna do red paint just to see if I can spot where the holes are. Okay, so the holes are around the, oh, that's where it is. Okay, sorry, I found it. Nice, okay. So it's right here. That's where the hole is, and now, do. And there's a hole around the ear as well. So, do. And I believe there's one here. And now fill. Fill that all the way. Fill. Perfect. All right, and now I'm just gonna do the old school way where I do this. Yeah, I can barely see these things. Sure, it's fine. I wonder what I did that makes them so invisible now. Change angle a bit more. Okay, sorta, kinda. His face is too square. Oh, and I know why. It's because, so if I was to just lower this brush size, right, and I was to just make these a little bit more visible. So, do. Feeling that might take a little bit of the square aspect off the face. Because they're the ones that's like actually adding a lot of that. But you can't see the fact that they're bangs. In fact, you know, just for consistency's sake, I'm gonna actually do that to all of these here. Are these lines messy and not particularly meant to be here? Sure, but at this point I feel like it's only going to add a hand-drawn look to it because this is such a minor detail. And also it's hair, so hair has more leniency, especially on these ends. Yeah, I think it'll be better. Alright, so I'm also going to add this to here. Just to make sure that the stuff here stands out. Okay, alright, nice. So yeah, I do think that makes the head stand out a whole lot more. And I probably could actually go even further with this stuff, but I'm just not gonna. Okay, so what's left now is I need to detail the eyes, right? Where was that folder with all my eye stuff? Oh, that was on the sketch layer. So I no longer have that. Okay, so see what I'm just do now is I just go like this. Right, and then I just yeah, okay, so I actually don't like this now, so here. Oh, that's a pen tool. That's why I was so confused there for a second. Like, why in the world did that look so weird? Dun, dun, dun. Oh, right, okay. Okay, so actually I made this a little bit too dark. Fine. Once again, that's a pen. Yeah, this gradient's actually a lot easier to do on paper. I don't know why. Like, I don't, like... Probably because on paper I'm not using a 2.4 size pencil, actually, now that I think about it. Using like a 0.5 or a 0.7. So, I imagine that probably makes my process a lot easier and a lot quicker. So, yeah, I can actually change that. I can change the size of the pencil in a little bit. Give or take, these eyes still give different vibes because this is a lot more it's a lot less wide. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna Okay, now I need to make that a little bit thicker. And I add in the glints. So this to here. This to here. Here. Okay. Yeah, okay, so yeah, that works. That all checks out. Yeah, okay, now it's time for me to do the final little bit. I go here and I just go 50% opacity. 50. And I just go do. So do. There we are. And then I'll just fill that in. And then I'll just go do. And I'll fill that in. And I'll go do. And then I'll fill that in. And then I'll go, yes, that's right, almost forgot. And I'll go do. So do. Like that, and then I'll just do that, and then I'll actually put this below the hair layer. Alright, and then that doesn't look right. Okay. And now I'll go do. If I do something like that. I guess that actually might work out a little bit in my favor. No, I think this looks, I don't think that looks correct. Yeah, I think that's enough. Nice. Alright, that took me hour 45. You know what? I'm just gonna end it here. So yeah. Thanks for watching. Bye.